And we are now live. Keep It 100 podcast show. I'm not going to introduce you, but I probably should. Uh, my guest, Elliott Major. Not really a guest, but bro's been on this damn podcast like 10 times. So,
Yeah, it's been quite a few times I've been up here, man.
for sure.
Shit, what's going on?
I'm chilling. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this project you just dropped. Pretty fire. So we'll
Hey,
probably get
listen,
into
man,
that.
appreciate that. Yeah, I just dropped EP Major Way on all streaming platforms. 6 songs, 6 dope songs. Very long process as far as trying to
Mm,
get this shit out. So, but finally was able to get it released, put out there, been received very well. Um, yeah.
for sure. Appreciate that. Um, have you had any like feedback like from the project from just like people in general or
A lot of people that definitely some good feedback. A lot of people have been a lot of people was hounding me to try to get this shit out because I really meant to try to put it out in December 31st. That was actually the first date that I was going to try to put it out. And, a lot of stuff was going on. I was sick while I was recording it. My engineer was sick himself. Um, and then I finally got it complete. I was just going to put it out, but as I was recording it, I was like, nah, I gotta do a little bit more with rolling this out because I just had a good feeling about all the songs that I was making.
Mhm.
So I just started this thing where I would just start posting, this one particular song, Lost, and I would just put some content together to link with the song, and I would just post it every day for like a month. The whole January, I was just posting that shit everywhere on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook Reels. Like I was just posting it every day, and so much so that it circulated to where a lot of people was just really anticipating it. So I was like, oh shit, like all right, so this is working. And then me and my engineer got sick once again. So then I had to push that shit back again because we wasn't really finished with everything. Cause he had to put a verse on a song, and then we had to mix and master everything. And right around that time, I wanted to put it out February 3rd,
Mhm.
and that was actually my dad's birthday, who obviously just passed. So I wanted to kind of do it like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very upset. To
I'm
the
sure.
point like I was very upset that I wasn't able to capitalize on the groundwork that I was, you know, trying out as far as just promoting this project. And it was frustrating. It was definitely frustrating, but you know, sometimes things in life happen and you just gotta figure out a way to just keep rolling with it. So 2 weeks later, put it out. Um, People were receiving it well. I mean, I was getting a lot of good feedback from it. Um, so it was dope. So now I just gotta, just keep promoting it, put some videos together for it, and just keep pushing it.
For sure. You mentioned you're posting like Instagram reels. There was one in particular, in particular reel you posted. I, I think it was these guys outside, and then held back talking about drop the album, drop.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like that was me, like the guy that was being held back. Like, I'm like, bro, like just.
So I've seen that clip on Instagram and on TikTok, and it was hilarious. So I was just like, a lot of like, there was quite a few people, like I said, like you, a couple other people that I could shout out that were literally in my DM hey, is it dropping today? When's it dropping? Like, yo, this like the day February 3rd, like I was trying to avoid social media because I knew I wasn't gonna be ready. And people were just hitting me up like, yo, today's the day. Hey, is it dropping at midnight? Hey, is it gonna be on all streaming platforms? And I'm like, fuck. Like I was happy that, the work was like it did what it was supposed to do, but I was pissed because I didn't have it to put out. So it
Yeah.
was just like I put that video there like that, so because that's what was happening like throughout the month.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, got sick, and that whole it just fell up, kind of crumbled a little bit, but was able to kind of just like salvage it. So but I figured out what I'm gonna do moving forward, and just learn from this situation. That's all.
For sure. Yeah, I was one of those people when it was
Oh no, you
it was
definitely was.
that I was like,
Yo,
oh,
drop the album. I'm like, listen, it's on the way. Like it's on the way, man. And
uh,
it happens, but you know what I mean?
yeah, I think I was in every single one of your social media platforms with the
Yep.
messages.
Yep. And you were another one I was just avoiding because I was like, listen, I don't have it right now. I don't have it right now. And then, then later on, later on that night, I put out a video just saying like, kind of like what was going on.
Mhm.
And that shit pained me, bro. Like I was just like, God damn, yo, I just put in all this work every day, like posting some shit, editing some shit, posting some shit, just to promote it. And now the day comes, I don't have it. Like that shit was crazy. It was just crazy. But I definitely learned a lot from that situation. So I know what to do moving forward.
For sure. I mean, at least you learn from every little
Absolutely.
situation,
Absolutely.
every little situation. But for the
Right.
next project, expectations have been set. So if I don't see it out, I'm just not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna wait and wait. All right, for sure.
Nah, that's not happening again. Like I'm not until I know that I have it in hand, I'm
Uh-huh.
not going to just put out a date. Will I promote that something's happening? Absolutely. But as far as putting out a date without having the product in hand, nah, I'm not doing that no more. I learned my lesson 2 times. I did this with this project, so like, yeah, I learned my lesson. Definitely learned my lesson.
I mean, it was actually worth the wait. So like I don't think
I appreciate that.
it wasn't. Now, if it wasn't worth the wait and did not happen, and
Yeah. Like
I'm like,
I
sir,
had no doubt in my mind product itself. It was just a
mhm,
matter of getting it done. And I think that's the reason why I put in so much work in just trying to promote it. Like I've never done this with any project that I've done, whether it was a single, whether it was an EP, whether it was an album. I wasn't as aggressive with it as I was with this. And it was just me just trying some shit, just
yeah,
to try it out to see if it works. And it looked like it definitely did. It's just a matter of doing that and making sure that the product is there on time for me to put it out. You know what I'm saying? So just stay as aggressive with the promoting,
mhm,
but make sure everything is done and
yeah,
complete. You know what I mean? So that's like the one thing that I learned in this situation.
for sure.
But I'm glad that everybody, like yourself, enjoyed what they heard, and that means I did my job. So
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. So I'm sure you learned something for like this whole project situation from start to finish. Like, you mind talking about what you actually learned from all of this?
uh, well, I'll definitely say being healthy is a key, like a huge key, man.
Yeah,
Like gotta be healthy. Like gotta make sure you take care of yourself. I know for me, like recording that whole project, I was like sick. Like I was like had a cold, all of that type of shit. And it was a difficult process recording it, all
Yeah.
those songs. It was a difficult process because, there was times like my voice went out. There was times that like I had to I would do a song and then I would take some time away and then the next day I would do another song. And around the time that I did that, it was probably one of the coldest weeks of December. And it was actually around Christmas time. So like around that time it was cold as hell. You know what I mean? It was freezing, and on top of that, there was a lot going on. Like around that time, like the heat went out of my crib, so like it was extremely cold, and then recording on top of that, trying to make sure my voice was right, but like for it to come out the way that it did was like, whoa, like
Yeah.
it's crazy. You know what I mean? But it's me being healthy is definitely like very, very important. I would also say make sure that everything is completely done ahead of time. Before you start mapping out uh, release dates and all of that, just making sure that everything is just everything is in order before moving on to the next part of the task. You know what I'm saying? So those are definitely things that I learned, and yeah, man, just being very efficient with the time that's given. Like no, don't waste time on anything. Like I don't care what it is. Like if it's like, even if it's like a small conversation that has nothing to do with what you're trying to do, don't have it. Like you got to be able to look at things a certain type of way and just be like, all right, should I be wasting my time here? Like, should I be wasting my time dealing with this, or should I just focus on what I got to do?
Yeah.
And those are things that I definitely took away from this whole process for sure.
For sure. And far as like the track list, was that the original number of tracks and songs that was supposed to be on there?
Yes, yeah. I was just gonna
Yeah.
do a quick 6 songs. Actually, another backstory behind Major Way. A lot of the inserts, the audio inserts, as far as like the talking and stuff, that came from a lot of podcast content that we were working on as a group. So
Okay.
the podcast name is Major Way Podcast. So it was kind of like I'm introducing it, but I'm also promoting the podcast as well. So that was like my whole idea behind it. And so like originally, yeah, I was just gonna stick with 6 songs, just a quick little EP that I was just gonna put out, but then it turned into something a little bit more than that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I just started putting a lot more effort in just pushing it and promoting it.
For sure. Yeah, and I kind of could tell, like, just like based off what you were saying, I was like, oh, is the podcast gonna drop? Is it gonna announce that podcast episode 1 at the end of the last song is gonna be ready?
Well, I mean, like, we're not sure exactly what the date is going to be just yet,
Mm-hmm.
but it's definitely going to be dropping this year. It's definitely dropping this year. A lot of things, again, a lot of things just had to get pushed back due to the fact of life just happening. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But that's definitely on. It's definitely happening this year. The Major Way podcast is happening this year. We've already had like a bunch of meetings as far as like when we're gonna release and start dropping stuff. I'm not gonna say that on here just yet, but it's happening. It's definitely happening.
For sure. I have this track list right here. I have some
Okay.
questions about
Okay.
this track list. One one song that stuck out to me, not even based off lyrics or anything, because I don't know if you've done this, but there's a Build-A-Bear store, and my son was
Uh-huh.
little. He used to like the Build-A-Bear thing or whatever, and I was like,
Hmm.
I just drop a Build-A-Bear song. I was like, and I listened to it. I was like, okay, it's not what I thought it was gonna be. Like I sigh sigh of relief on that
Right.
one. But yeah, like we want to discuss the how you came up with the names of the 6 tracks here. Okay,
Okay.
backwards thinking. I kind of got that because I freaking love that song. Better off.
Appreciate that.
I like that one.
Appreciate that.
Backwards backwards thinking should actually have a star, which it doesn't yet. Better off has a star, but it's still early. Okay,
Right.
but that's what I'll say. So the, the titles of these songs, I would start from the top. Catch up. What inspired you to come up with that one?
Catch up. And by the way, like all the songs was produced by 8 Bars, the producer out of I think he's in Vegas, I think. I'm not too sure. But
Okay.
he's a dope ass producer. I mean, I've actually worked with a lot of his beats on quite a few songs. Um Catch Up, that was like the intro song to where like last year was probably the most active I've been as far as music.
Mhm.
Just like putting out songs, putting out content. Um so it was kind of like, I'm not gonna say showcasing it, but just going through the process of what I would normally do. I think that's kind of like the first verse of it. I'm working hard like I'm trying to catch up to a lot of other people. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it's just more of motivation for people to kind of just keep grinding as if you have to catch up to whatever it is. And that's kind of like where I came up with that idea because I was working crazy last year. That was probably the most active, hands down, the most active, probably until this year, the most active I've been with music, you know, hands like since I've started. And that was just a testament to it, basically. And then, I felt like that was like the best way for me to just set off the whole project.
Sure. Okay. Very educated. I feel very educated right now. You broke it down bit by bit. So thank you for that.
For sure.
So likes Lost was a fire track. Like I like that one. I actually
Appreciate
like
that.
all of it, but like if someone were to ask me to rank it right now, I don't think I can yet. I think
Okay.
I'm like, yo, I just need like another day to listen to shit again. But because I get stuck on this better off and alternate between backwards thinking and those two right there.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know what's one for me right now. Like some days is better off, and some days is backwards thinking, and then I'll
Okay.
listen to it again, and I'll be like, fuck, now it's the other one. Like I don't know.
That's good though. Like that means, because I'm not gonna lie, I have, when we were mixing it, I actually put out a clip of this. Um, J Cloud asked me, so which one do I think is gonna actually like hit, and it's still difficult for me. Like it's very very tough for me to choose, and that's part of the reason why I really went as hard as I did trying to push it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know, some days I have Lost is my favorite. Some days I have Better Off being my favorite. Some days I have Backwards Thinking being my favorite, and it just switches. You know what I mean? And but like all in all, like I love this project. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of songs on there that could potentially be somebody's go-to. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Because it's tough for me right now. Like I'm gonna need to listen to this joint like at least 2 or 3 more times.
hey man, listen, run it up. You know what I mean?
Currently in my rotation right now. So um
That's what's up. I appreciate that.
yeah. So we talked okay, so what about now we're just on topic of Lost.
Okay.
Inspiration behind what was the inspiration behind that one?
Okay, so Lost, and it's very that was the first song that I used to for promoting it. So like I
Mhm.
was literally all the videos that I posted in January was linked with this song or content that would link that made sense with this song.
Uh-huh.
And as I was doing it, a lot of people were reaching out to me saying how relatable it is. And Lost is kind of like from a perspective of someone, whether it's in the talking stage or just in the beginning stages of a relationship that has been in past situations that has caused them to have a guard or a wall or just in defense mode all the time.
Mhm.
And when a lot of people do that, you kind of run the risk of potentially missing out on somebody that could show or treat you differently from whatever it is that you're going through.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of people think that it's something that I've gone through personally. Me personally, I don't look at relationships that way.
Yeah.
I look at it as everybody everybody's different.
Mhm.
And so I don't take past situations into previous or future relationships or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like, but I've also been in situations where somebody says, "Oh, I don't trust because of whatever happened," or
Man,
"I always have a wall up because of whatever happened." You know what I mean? And that's, you know, that's fine. That's you have we're all human at the end of the day, and nobody really wants to go through hurt or pain or whatever it is that you felt in the past. You don't want to go through that again.
uh-huh.
That makes perfect sense. But you also run the risk of causing damage to something that could happen just
Yeah,
based off of that.
for
You know,
sure.
because you're not willing to let somebody in because of what happened in the past. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what that song was. Like the hook says, I don't want to lose what I'm afraid to love. You can potentially lose something because you're busy trying to protect yourself. Like they could show you everything that is completely different from what you dealt with, but it scares you because as soon as you let this person in, you think they're automatically going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Doesn't always happen that way. Does it happen? Absolutely. And when it happens, you're going to have PTSD, maybe, but there's also another flip side to that. You can potentially push somebody away by acting and moving that way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what Lost was about. You know what I mean? Just from a perspective of just a mindset of I don't want to necessarily push this person away, but I'm scared because of past traumas. So that's kind of really what Lost is about for the most part.
Yeah, okay. For sure. I agree with that because there's a lot of I'm not I'm gonna make a statement, but does not go for all of them. But a lot of them, a lot of these females like compare, contrasts. Like he did this to me, so therefore you're gonna do this to me. So therefore I'm gonna treat you this way until
Right,
you, until you basically mess up. Basically, like that's what I got.
right. And the thing about it is, it's not even just females. It's
Yeah.
males too. You know what I'm saying? Like there's guys that also have gone through shit with,
Mhm.
whatever significant others, and they automatically put everybody in the same category as, oh, well, you're like this because I've dealt with this before.
Mhm.
Guys and girls do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a human reaction.
For sure.
Not everybody's like that, but at the same time, just my view on it, I don't think that that's the best way to go about it.
That just
And if
means
you're
you're not
not
healed yet, basically.
right, exactly. So like if you're not ready to deal with somebody, you shouldn't put yourself out there. Like you
For
shouldn't
sure.
even entertain anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you got to work on you and figure you out and heal whatever that is before you go out in the world and try to bring somebody in or try to deal with somebody, because even though you don't necessarily mean it, you can cause a negative ripple effect by dealing with somebody when you're not ready.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're talking to somebody and you know for a fact that you're not ready, just based off of you're putting this person in a category just based off past shit.
Mhm.
You're not ready to deal with anybody. So
Yeah.
you need to back up, figure out whatever that is, and heal. That's it. Like that takes
Very
time.
much.
You know what I'm saying? Just take time to heal whatever's going on before you deal with somebody else. Because the moment you bring somebody else in your shit, you run the risk of burning a bridge or destroying a potential situation that could be in a positive relationship, or just completely different from whatever it is you dealt with. But you're just not ready to deal with it right now because you're not ready. And there's a lot of people that's doing that. A lot of people that just aren't ready. So it's like, just take your time. You know what
What's
I
the
mean? So
rush,
like
bro?
that's exact. There's no rush. That's the thing. A lot of people have like timetables as far as, oh well, I need to have this by this time, or I need to be in a relationship, married with kids, and all of this type of shit around this time. And it's like, if you're not ready because of whatever it is, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, for
All of
sure.
that shit's gonna go. It's just gonna go to shit. So everything that you're looking for, that you feel like you need because you're pressed for time, it's not going to work out because you're not ready. You know what I mean? So like that's kind of like what, because I've been in situations like that. I've been in situations where a person would tell me, "Oh, I've just act like this because, I've been hurt. I've dealt with a lot of shitty individuals in the past, and it's made me like this. So I just need time." And that's fine. That's cool. But I'm not gonna sit here and just be somebody's punching bag until you try to figure it out. So
Yeah.
no, nor should anybody else. Like nobody should be somebody's punching bag or just dealing with that over and over. And the only excuse you have to say is, "Oh well, I have my walls up and I've been in pain before, so I just I just need time and I just got to deal with it."
Gonna be like, why am I here?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of like, is from a perspective of someone that is aware of what it is that they're doing. Not everybody's aware, but
Mhm.
loss is from a perspective of someone that is aware of what it is that they're doing and know that it can potentially end the the present situation that they're working on or
Mhm.
working with. And they're afraid to lose this person because of past shit and their fear
Yeah.
of being hurt. So that's kind of like that. honestly, that's probably one of my favorite songs just based off of the message behind it and the feedback that I was getting from everybody else. Everybody has their own perspective or their perception of the song. So it's like it's interesting and amazing to see that versus how I potentially wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why like as far as impact, that's probably one of the top songs on that EP.
Sure. Based off what we just talked about, that kind of explains the whole song in a nutshell, pretty much. Music video for that would be fire though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely brainstorming as we speak. Like I've been talking with J Cloud about it. So like it's definitely I'm shooting visuals for all of these. So I'm shooting visuals for all of them.
All right, for sure. Yeah. Thank you for explaining that one. If anyone is watching currently, we're going through this track list and I'm getting some clarity on these tracks.
Yeah, let's get to the next one. Why not?
Backwards Thinking featuring Mr. Thought Provoker, aka Boston Celtic fan.
Shout out to Thought Provoker.
Shout out to Bro. You're next, sir. I got you on Tuesday. But yeah, so this track, like what went into like you guys coming up with the idea for Backwards Thinking?
Backwards Thinking is it kind of just was inspired by people that it's kind of throwing shade on people that are they want instant gratification.
Okay.
And without putting in the work to get this, gratification. You know what I mean? But I mean it's not just that, but I think like as far as like when I wrote my verse, that's kind of like what my perception was. But Backwards Thinking is just a lot of people that are just ass backwards, like when it comes to a lot of things. And everybody, comes across somebody that all right. Like even what I was saying in the beginning of the song, like people can think whatever your idea or your dream or your passion or your path doesn't make sense to them or it's not going to work. And that's cool. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But I know for me personally, I don't want to hear that shit. Like I don't want to hear anything that you have to say in a negative way. Like I've had people say to me, "Oh, you have a lot going on. Taking on one extra task is going to be too much." And it's like, do you not see what the fuck I do on a daily basis?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I work a 9 to 5 still. I record other people. I shoot videos for other people, let alone myself. What's difficult? Like I do this all the time. You know what I'm saying? So like instead of having those arguments or having conversations with people like that, it's like, yo, just go over there, bro. Like keep your backwards thinking over there. You know what I mean?
Messing with my energy, bro.
Exactly. Like that's what's important. That's another thing like that I learned during this. Protect your energy. Like make sure watch who you have around you. Cause one person with the wrong energy can fuck up everything. Everything. One person with the wrong mindset can fuck up everything. So it's just very important to be mindful and like aware of who you have around you. Like, for perfect example, you with your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If you have people around you that's saying, yo, this doesn't go to work. Why are you doing this? Why are you wasting your time just spending time and effort in doing this? What is your reason for saying that shit?
Actually had that happen recently.
Right, you know what I mean? And is this a person like that you want around you? No,
Yeah, my bro
absolutely not.
over
I
there.
don't want people around me that like, especially we have people that's outside of
Mhm.
our circumference and circle that's saying shit like that. We already have that. I
Yeah.
don't want somebody that I'm bringing into my circle telling me that what I'm doing is difficult or a waste of time. The fuck? No. Hell no. I don't want to hear that. I don't ever want to hear that. So like if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna say that, you just gotta go over there. Just stay over there. Just stay away from me. And a
Yeah.
lot of that is a lot of people are afraid to, it's difficult for them. Like it's difficult for them, or they're just afraid to even try it.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, don't put your fear or insecurities on to me. Don't bring that shit around me. Like I don't want that around me. Like that's not my fault that you're afraid to try. That's not
Yeah.
my fault that you're afraid to take a shot on and bet on yourself. It's not my fault. Or it's not my fault that you have or are making or succumbing to excuses as to why you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my fault. And because it's not my fault, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want that around me. And that's what backwards thinking is.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all both snapped on that joint though. Like so.
Definitely we had fun making that song. Like definitely
Yeah,
had fun making that song for sure.
that was my uncle liked that song. He was like, "Yo, that joint fire." I was like,
Salute to that.
I mean, yeah. I was like, both of these niggas on the same song. So like, I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, and we actually recorded that after we did a track for his album, the Glory Part 2. So like literally like back to back, we, I hopped on his joint and he hopped on my song. So yeah, that's one of them ones right there.
sure. The visuals for that gonna be fire though.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be dope. I actually texted him like not too long ago because like a lot of people have been giving me a lot of feedback on that particular song,
That joint
and
fire, bro.
yeah, so like we definitely gonna shoot a visual for that. Absolutely,
Yeah,
all
so
of them, all songs gonna get a visual, all of them.
for sure. Okay, that was another great example of explaining song.
No
Basically,
problem.
negative people stay away. Basically, what I get from
Pretty much,
it.
pretty
For
much.
sure.
Keep your backwards thinking over there. We only do forward thinking over there.
Like get out of my force field, bro. Like,
Exactly,
oh,
exactly.
yeah. All right. Moving down the list, this one right here. This is build a bear.
Build a bear.
So I spent so much money on that store, but and that's beside the point right now. But back to the track. So what went into this build a bear song from start to finish?
Build a bear. Okay. So Build a Bear, I wrote 2021. So I've had that song in the tuck since 2021.
Okay.
I had the idea, I found the beat, I was listening to it, and matter of fact, a funny story, I had the beat and I had an idea for it, and I was actually gonna pitch the idea to my partner to try to put it on a collaborative project that we was working on.
Hmm.
I didn't tell him about the idea. I just showed him the beat. So I showed him the beat. He heard it and he was just like, it's cool, but he wasn't feeling it, pretty much. So I was like, all right, cool. I still got the idea, so I'm just going to run with it myself. So I recorded it and I showed it to him, and he was like, yo, that's just kind of fire. And then I told him, like, yo, I showed you this before. He's like, damn, why you didn't just tell me the idea? You know, that's just me sometimes. Like, when I have an idea, I don't speak on it until it's complete. Like, that's another thing too. Like, I don't want to tell somebody an idea unless I trust them. Not saying that I don't trust my man. Like, that's my partner, that's my boy. It was just like in the early stages before I had anything written. But like, I don't discuss ideas with people until I know for sure that I'm completely married to the idea. Like, you can't change my mind about the shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like, a lot of people, again, talking about outside interference, can sit there and say to you, I don't like that idea. And it'll make you change your mind. And sometimes, or doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Necessarily. And, you know, like when I come with concepts and ideas, I don't want to have nobody tell me anything outside of constructive criticism that's going to make that idea better.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, don't tell me, oh, I don't like this idea, blah, 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 blah. That's cool. I don't care. Especially if you're not of the cloth to where, like, I take your word as, like, I take your opinion in account.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care. I do not care. Like, it's just like, once I have it done and it's complete and you hear it, 9 times out of 10 you might like it, maybe you won't, but we'll see at the end of the day. So the idea behind Build-A-Bear, kind of similar to Lost a little bit, but just a different aspect of it. So Build-A-Bear is from a perspective of someone that's in a relationship that has, all right, Build-A-Bear flip side. Build-A-Bear is the person that is trying to help or work or fix things with a person for whatever the reason, and they're stuck in their ways of doing things, which is not necessarily the best of situations. Like, there's no compromise there. You know what I mean? And there's been a lot of situations where a lot of people try their best to fix people. That's not always a good thing either. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you put yourself in a situation where it's like, okay, well, you see potential in a person, and with seeing that potential, there's a lot of extra work that you have to put in the relationship. But when it's one-sided, it's like, okay, well, when are we going to come together on this? You know what I mean? So, like, Build-A-Bear is just from the perspective of, okay, you've done all this work and you've done all this, you know, trying to fix things and fighting for this relationship. And it's like, you know what? I'm no longer gonna be a punching bag. I'm no longer gonna try to fix this anymore. I can't fix this, clearly. So I'm through with this scenario. And fixing or building a person or trying to fix a relationship is kind of similar to building a bear. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go through this whole process of getting the clothes, finding the material or whatever it is, and trying to put this idea together in the best image that suits you. There's a lot of people that do that in relationships. Does it make it right? No, but it's a relatable thing. And I'm sure everybody's done it. Like, everybody's been in a situation where it's like, you know what, you should, you know, let's try to fix this or work on this, or you're trying to put in work into somebody to, you know, make it suit you. and everybody has a breaking point at some way or another.
Yeah.
Like where you say, okay, enough is enough. I'm no longer doing this.
Well, I'm good.
Like I'm good here. Like this is enough. So like that's in a nutshell, that's what Build a Bear is. Like that's where that came from. It's just more of like you're through this back and forth game of just trying to work on something that is just not going to work. You're sick of trying to fix something that can't be fixed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Build a Bear.
For sure. That was actually explained perfectly, actually. So appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay, we're to one of my favorite joints now. Well, I like all these joints, but you know what I mean.
Now for you.
Better Off featuring J Cloud.
Better Off. Shout out to J Cloud.
Shout out to bro, man. I get him back on here. But
Facts.
Yeah, so this is the one they have with the star. So
hey, salute to that. Salute to that.
Yeah. So what that tells me is people are feeling that joint as they're feeling the whole project. But yeah, so I want to talk about how that came about.
Build a Bear. To be honest with you, Build a Bear, not Build a Bear. Whoa, Better Off. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Better Off was when I came up with that idea and recorded it, it kind of like set the tone for everything else that was going to happen with this EP. Like I had like a different type of energy once I completed that song, to where like, okay, this could actually be something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Better Off is just, in a more of a positive motivation type of song also. It's kind of like when you realize after you move away from the people that were either saying negative shit, dragging you down, toxic relationships, toxic family, whatever it is, and you realize that you were just better off without them. And then you come to that realization, and it's like a weight lifted. Like you seen, like you just look, like it's like looking back at what you went through dealing with all of that, and then like, damn, I should have did this a while ago.
He was like, what took so long for me?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what took me so long to realize this? But the thing is, like, it's all about timing. Like, it's all about the timing of when you learn these lessons and these things that help you grow down the line.
For sure.
And like even my bro that was talking in the beginning and in the end, shout out to Banaj, and he's also one of the hosts on the podcast. Like he was going through a breakdown as far as like when he had an idea about something and him having an altercation with people that he was potentially building with made him strategize everything a lot differently. And based off of that strategy, it turned out to be a better situation. Once you cut the negative out, like once you cut people that are just, they're not for you. Like they don't have your best interest. They're not rooting for you for real. Like they're doing everything to redirect you from what you want, like what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? And that's what Better Off is. Just realizing all of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through just to get to whatever point that you're at. You were better off going through those trials and tribulations, but you're also better off without them continuing as you continue to move forward on your journey.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's just more of just like a positive, motivating song. That's probably one of my favorites just because of the message behind it.
Definitely one of my favorites. There's several tracks that I like, but
right.
But the visuals for that one are gonna be pretty fire.
Yeah, that's gonna be a dope one
for sure. Oh yeah, we're running on YouTube at the same time that we're running on Facebook Live. So
fire. Salute to that.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to like find you on social media, like what's your handle for like social media, then your handle for Apple Music? I'm sure it's Elliott Major, right? That's what it is.
On all streaming platforms, if you're trying to look me up, it's Elliott Major. That's ELLIOTTMAJOR on all streaming platforms. Make sure you don't forget an L or a T, because if you find somebody that has that, that's not me. Like I had to say this all the time because some people like forget one of the letters, but it's Elliott Major on all streaming platforms. That Major Way is on there. A lot of other projects and songs and singles that I have are on there. Instagram is who is Elliott, who_is_Elliott. TikTok is the same thing. YouTube is who is Elliott. Facebook is either who is Elliott or Elliott Major. Twitter, I'm not really on there that much, but that's also Elliott Major, I believe. Yeah. But like for everything else is who is Elliott.
Okay. Speaking of that, was there a reason you changed handles on social media? I noticed that a while back, but I've never got back.
I don't know. I kind of just felt like
I like it though, but I just never
like I feel like there's a lot of people that are starting to tune in, and they don't know exactly who I am just yet. So I feel like that's the best way to kind of just introduce things. So who is Elliott? So it has a good ring to it for now. It'll be that for right now until I decide to change it again. But for right now, that's what it is as far as all my handles and everything.
For sure. Okay. All right. Winding down here, I want to see if we can get this on Instagram, but we're at 53 minutes. I do have a question about a podcast that I heard that was coming back.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about the Smoking Reggie's podcast return?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
If you heard that it was coming back, you probably know more than me. I'm not gonna lie.
I did, and I'm gonna poke him after this.
Yeah. I have no idea. I know Thought Provoker has talked about potting again, but I haven't heard as far as when though.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not too sure. But I mean, hopefully they get it right and get it together so they can.
Yeah,
hopefully.
that show was lit, bro.
For sure.
Like, the feud that I did with them, like it was pretty cool.
Facts. It was lit. I mean, when they was on it. Like they was definitely on it for a while. So
yeah, they're on the show.
Know. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, man, life happens. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
For sure. So that's my plan for like after we finish up in a few. The Reels thing worked really well last time, so that's kind of where I'm gonna aim at with it. And this is already on Facebook and YouTube already, so that's already knocked out. So I'll probably put some clips on Instagram, TikTok, of course, because trying to get my follows up, bro. Like, I need to be able to go live.
Listen, I hear you. I'm trying to get that. That's my goal this year. Try to get it to like 1,000 so I can start, live streaming on there too. Like, doing sessions on like live or whatever.
It's just hard, bro.
Bruh, it is. But I'm like, I just got up to like 7.
Okay, so you 3 away. You 300
yeah,
away.
so I just gotta keep being consistent. So, if I just keep posting, hopefully it works. We'll see.
Because unless they change it again, last time I checked, they said you need.
They better not. I ain't listen. They better not. That's all I know. Like, listen, keep the rules at least until I get there.
Yeah.
Once I get there and I'm able to do that shit, you change it to whatever the fuck you want. But do not move the goalposts until I get there. Just don't do that, bro.
Yeah. Is that so? Currently,
please, TikTok, please, please, just don't change anything. Not yet. Just don't do it yet. My fault. Go ahead.
I was saying the same thing, so you were in there. like, yeah, currently it's at 1,000. I needed to stay there until I get 1,001, and then you can change it. Like, I don't care at that point.
Yeah, well,
I want it because it just looks their live, the way their lives are set up, it just looks fire, bro.
That and a lot more people is just tuning in. Like, your reach is just a lot better on there. Like, honestly, like I've seen it. Like, I've personally seen like the reach is different on TikTok.
Bro, you can post a random video and get like 3,000 views. Like, it could just be.
Or if like you'll just reach a lot more than just your area.
Reach everywhere.
Yeah, you reach, like, you can reach somebody across the country, can just see your shit and be like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just a matter of just being consistent with it. For
sure. Yeah, so that is also a part of my goal. I need to be able to go live on TikTok now.
Facts.
That's Instagram Live is cool, but the reach is just not.
It's just
you're limited.
It's different.
Yeah.
So
they limit you or whatever.
Exactly.
But
I mean, I'll still do it in the meantime, but once I get that shit over there, good luck finding me on Instagram. I'll tell you that shit. Live anyway. Like, I'll still be posting on there or whatever, but going live,
there's so many better. There's like, it's like a whole different atmosphere over there from based on what I see. So
yeah, actually, Thought Provoker just got to like a little over 1,000, but I don't think he's went live yet though. But like he got
Man, he need to go live. You better quit playing.
That's what I'm saying.
Tell him to pull up to the stew and use his TikTok to
listen. Hey, fuck it, why not? But in due time, everything gonna work out though.
For sure. Okay, moving on. Closing arguments. I always wanted to say that. Closing arguments. Anything else you want to share before we wrap it up here? Go get the EP.
Well, oh yeah, for sure. Major Way EP on all streaming platforms. Run that up right now. 6 songs, 6 dope ass songs, very relatable songs. Visuals are gonna be dropping real soon, and I'm not even close to done. There's a lot more music that's gonna be on the way. That shit will be announced as time, moves on. But definitely tap in, with the music that's already out, and appreciate everybody that has enjoyed it so far, and all the positive feedback, and just keep tuned in.
Drop the album.
Word.
I've been waiting to say that this whole podcast. So, but yeah. So yeah, I think we're good. This podcast is up on Facebook right now, YouTube, and it'll be on all I guess major social media platforms. If I'm saying that right. TikTok, Instagram Reels, and maybe some YouTube Shorts. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, I think that's a wrap for us. Appreciate you for joining me. We'll be in contact again for another one.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, for
sure. Appreciate you for having me. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, you too, man.
Right.